So here we are, some Pseudocode Past papers. The pseudocode below shows a program store the process the race times in seconds of finalists in a 100-metre sprint. Now remember, read the pseudocode so you can write out exactly what it does. State the most suitable data type, data structure and data type for the highlighted variable all times used above. Pause the video, write your answer. The data structure is an array, a 1D array, and of course the type is a real. Use a section of code. Give two techniques that the programmer could use to make it more readable. Pause the video, write your answer. Then we'll get internal commentary, indentation, meaningful variable names. We should also have white space there. They've said keywords capitalised, but this is an old exam. Keywords capitalised doesn't count anymore. White space does comment lines, internal commentary, white space, meaningful identifiers, indentation. Roadmaps display the distances measured between 2 points as a whole number. To calculate the length of a journey between two places on the map, the sections are joined together. In the map shown, it's 23 miles from A to D. All journeys start at A. So 12 plus 7 plus 4 gets you to D. This is pseudocode. Name another design notation they could have used. Describe one advantage of using this design notation rather than pseudocode. So you have to think of another design notation you could have used and give an advantage. Pause the video, write your answer. Well, it could have been a structure chart or a flow chart. And the answer should relate to a visual representation. A visual representation of the sequence processes of events. So structure and flowchart are visual design notation, and pseudocode is textual. So back onto this again. Identify the variables and state their data types used in the program design. And list the test data that should be entered to test that the program correctly calculates the distance from A to C. Pause the video, write your answers. Well, our variables are total, which is an integer, distance, which is an integer, and destination, which is a string. Now to get the answers from question C, all the test data, 12, 8 and 6, and if you look at the map, it's 12 to junction 2, 8 to junction 3 and 6 to C. The program above stops when the user enters 0. We have to improve the design to display a warning message if the total is greater than 50. Use pseudocode or a programming language of your choice to show how this extra feature could be implemented. Pause the video, write your answer. Well, you need to have an if statement, condition greater than 50, and a suitable output message. And so I've done one here. Repeat. So we get the distance from keyboard where it says receive distance from keyboard. If distance is greater than 50, send distance must be less than 50. Else set total to total plus distance. So we need a if statement, we need our message, and our output into some sort of display. That gets you the marks. These two lines here, if distance is greater than 50, saying distance must less than 50, that gets you your marks. So here's a wee program. Car apply the brakes if the distance between two cars is less than 50 metres. For safety reasons, the brakes should only be activated if the speed of the car is less than 30 miles per hour. The brakes should be kept on until the speed of the car reduces to 0. Now let's look at the pseudocode. There's two logic errors. Can you identify them and identify which line they are on? So if it's 15 metres apart and the speed of the car is less than 30. Line 3, they've used OR, it should be AND. And line 7 should be until the speed of the car equals 0. The pseudocode allows the user to enter the level they wish to start playing a game. What happens if the person enters 10? Stop the video, type in your answer. An error is displayed, the user re-enters a level. If they put in 12, we've done this in the class before. The value 12 is compared to the value in the range, as it does meet the while. It's less than 1 or greater than 10. Well, it is. Then you send error message. Please re-enter level to display. Receive level. You take the level back in again. We're looking to enter a stock code between 1 and 900. Give one example of exceptional data. Pause the video. Write your answer. Anything that's non-numeric, anything that's not a number between 1 and 900, a real number. Employees can only access the company network if they have a correct username and password. Here's the validation code, or an extract of the pseudocode. An error is noticed when the program is tested. There's a logic error. Identify the logic error and how it can be corrected. Pause the video, write your answer. It's line 3 and it should be AND. The Ferris in the Sky website provides internet-based document storage. Before using the website, a user must set up an account. Here's the new account input screen shown below. Using pseudocode, how could you check that the password entered into text field 7 has at least 8 characters? Pause the video, write your answer. I've done this with arrays. If length of text field 7 is greater than or equal to 8, then set valid to true, end if. So we're looking for an if statement. We're going to use length, len, remember. A word input into a computer is actually stored as an array of characters. One mark for set value to true. So if length the text field 7 is greater than or equal to 8, set valid to true, end if. We can put alternative stuff, but you could have put a message saying password accepted, or text field password is accepted, etc. So describe clear with reference to values and variables what the following pseudocode does. Tell us exactly what this pseudocode does. Pause the video. Well, what it does. The values entered on the form create a password and confirm a password are assigned to variables. And this statement is used to compare these variables. If the values match, then a screen is shown confirming registration. Otherwise, an error message is displayed. So we assign the values that are entered into the form, create a password, confirm the password. As we can see the form there, we compare them, and depending on the output, we either get a proceed to newsroom or error message. Computer program used to store a patient's heart rate each day for a week. The readings are stored in an array of real numbers called BPM. Use pseudocode or programming language of your choice. Write a short program to calculate the average heart rate of the patient over 7 days. Gonna give you a tip here, use an array. And we've done this traversing a 1D array. Pause the video, write your answer. Here we are, kind of straightforward. For days 1 to 7, or for counter equals 1 to 7, let total equal total plus BPM and in brackets days. In brackets days, this tells us that it is an array. Next days, or just next if you just used an ordinary for loop. Let average equal BPM, the average BPM equal total divided by 7. So the important bit here is the total plus BPM in brackets days. That tells us that you know it's an array. And it isn't, it tells us in the question that it's an array. Sorry, I missed that.